Are you involved in the drug testing specimen collection process, specifically urine collections? Hopefully you've been watching this series of videos about the urine specimen collector process. And we've covered in previous videos step 1, step 2, step 3, and step 5. And we do go in that order, which is kind of funny. We do steps 1, 2, 3, 5, and 4. And today we're going to show you the final step, step 4 of the drug testing urine specimen collection process. Stay tuned. Okay, welcome back to our continuing series on drug testing specimen collection. We've been going through the 5 steps of a drug test specimen collection, whether it be a DOT collection or very similar, a non-DOT collection. There might be some variation on the form, but as a collector, we're trained to look at the form and to follow the form. And in this case, we've done steps 1, 2, 3, and 5. And we do count funny on a DOT collection. We count 1, 2, 3, 5, 4. So at this point, I'm about ready to finish up right here. I'm on to step 4, the collector certification, which I fill out as the collector. And I'm just going to read to you what it says there because I found that a lot of collectors sign these forms and they've never even read what they're signing. So I want to go ahead and read that. It says, I certify that the specimen given to me by the donor, identified in the certification section on copy 2 of this form, was collected, labeled, sealed, and released to the delivery service noted in accordance with applicable federal requirements. So I'm going to go ahead and press firmly. I'm going through 4 copies. I'm going to sign my name. I'm going to print my name neatly so someone can read it. I'm going to put the date. And I'm put the time. So the time is always the time that I'm signing the form. The time is pretty much the end of the collection is always the time of the collection. So I'm going to head and put the time there, and I'll put either AM or PM. And just to the right of that, there's a box that says specimen bottles released to. A lot of people forget to indicate in that box who they're giving the specimen to. So in this case, I'm giving it to FedEx. So real simple, there's a box to check for FedEx. If there's not a box to check for FedEx, just write in FedEx or write in UPS, depending on whoever's picking up the specimen and going to be delivering it to the lab. So at this point, I'm going to talk to you about one of the most important parts of the specimen collection that I have found. And that is we're pretty much done here, but I'm going to go back to the top of the form and I'm going to review everything that needed to be filled out. And I'm going to make sure that I didn't miss anything. And I'm going to go down the form and from left all the way over to the right to make sure that I didn't miss a checkbox or miss something that I should have filled out. In this case, I'm seeing that I've got everything. I've done a pretty good job. And I do have the remarks section, which is still blank. And here's how I remember now to fill out the remarks. It's still blank. So if there was something out of the ordinary that occurred, an issue with the donor, an issue with the specimen, something of that nature, I would write in the remarks about that. And if I needed a separate sheet of paper to continue with more remarks, I would go ahead and say, see attached, and include those additional remarks. In this case, as in most collections, there's no remarks, everything went fine. I'm going to write the word none. That reminds me to always write something in the remarks section when it needs to be written. So at this point, Tom, we are just about finished with the collection. I'm just going to go ahead and seal up the bag with copy 1, the lab copy of the custody and control form. And I'm going to fold that in a way that the social security number can't be seen. But I like the lab to be able to see the barcode when they get the specimen bag so that they can scan it as soon as it comes in receiving, and they know from the barcode that they have that specimen. Then I'm going to peel off the adhesive at the top of the bag, and I'm going to fold it right down. There's some railroad tracks here. In some bags, they're black. In this bag, they're orange. And I'm going to fold it right down on those railroad tracks. Make sure it's sealed pretty well. Then I'm put this in a secure area until such time as it's to be picked up by the courier or by FedEx. Now, Tom, this bottom copy of the form is your copy, copy 5, the donor copy. We went over earlier the instructions of the collection, which are right here on the back. I'm also going to ask you for your own information when you leave. If you're on any medications, you might want to jot them down. If anything comes up on your test, you won't hear from me. You'll hear from a medical review officer, and they'll talk to you about any prescribed medications if any of that shows up. Now, at this point, I'm going to discard the cup. It is empty anyway. I'm going to give you back your personal belongings and your ID, and you can wash your hands, flush the toilet, and you're free to go.
Thank you.
Okay, and Tom, I appreciate you being cooperative. I now have an MRO copy, copy 2 of the form. I am going to fax that the same day to the MRO, or at the very latest the next business day. I have a collector copy that I'm going to keep for my records, at least 30 days. If anything comes up on this test, like it's a positive or any issues, as a collector, I'm going to keep this indefinitely. But the regulations for DOT testing do require me to keep it for at least 30 days. And then we have an employer copy, and we either mail this or fax this to the employer, or if you're doing the test right on site, you can hand deliver it right to the DER, the employer, before you leave. So that wraps up the specimen collection process. We've done over the course of this video series, steps 1, 2, 3, 5, and 4. In the next several videos, we're going to be dealing with some problem collections, fatal flaws, correctable flaws, refusals to test, shy bladder, temperature out of range, direct observation testing, and refusals to sign the form. Those are all things that are going to require remarks on the custody and control form, and may also require additional remarks that you would write on a separate piece of paper. And typically when those things occur, you also, as you finalize the event, you call the company's designated employer representative to let them know of any issue or problem area that may have occurred. So stay tuned for our next set of videos about fatal flaws, correctable flaws, and other problems in the drug test collection process. And again, I'm Joe Riley, President of National Drug Screening. Always visit our website and our YouTube channel to learn lots of great things about drug testing. Go ahead and visit www.nationaldrugscreening.com.